Good morning. Good morning. It's 2:51 a.m. I'm on my way to the gym right now. I was standing there and I was getting ready. I was shaving my head. And I don't know. I want to say it was Sunday night. It was either Sunday or Saturday. I think it was Saturday night. It was the day before the Super Bowl. My mom was there. My wife was there. My brother showed up. And then next thing I know, my sister showed up at my house. And I remember I went to the gym. I ran, I said, hey, I'm on my way out. I was leaving anyways, but I'll be right back, so don't go nowhere. So I went to the gym. I ran a nice 5 miles at about 7 o'clock at night. Came home and everybody's standing there. And we were talking, and we were kind of talking openly, which was cool. And I made a comment along the lines of, Mom, it's your fault why we not closer, why me and my siblings aren't closer. And what I meant by that simply was that, Mom, you had the ability to teach us that our relationships together are important if they're cultivated right. But as I'm standing in the mirror today and I was shaving my head and I was thinking about what I said, I didn't mean that you should know how to teach us how to be closer as siblings. Because me and my siblings, we don't like hang out like some siblings. We cordial, we love each other, we check in on each other, but it's not like, every day or every other day, whatever the case may be. And sometimes it's like that, sometimes it's not. Sometimes siblings don't talk at all. There's just a huge break. But even some of my siblings will go a year, 2 years without talking with each other. I mean, precious, valuable time. But I said all that to say that when I told my mom that in front of them, I should have put an asterisk. And the asterisk would have said, based on what you know to do. And what I mean by that is, your parents have parents. Their parents have parents. Or they had foster parents, or they had grandparents. They had some adult figure, somebody who was in their life that, had a responsibility to teach them something about life and about the fundamentals of family and togetherness and God and, all these things that make us grow and have productive, healthy lives. But the asterisk would have been, if you knew what to do. And a lot of the times we're asking our parents to do something that their parents never taught them how to do. So when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, well, I should have been clear about that and said, you know what, Mom, you did the best you could do for what you knew how to do. See, not everybody's going to be like me, or not everybody's going to be like Les Brown, or some of these other people who have educating themselves or learning themselves or wanting to have better productive lives to the next level, to the point where they're willing to get around the right people, even if the right people aren't blood related. Sometimes they gotta look at Mama and Daddy and say, Mama and Daddy didn't have this figured out, so I need to go around somebody who's living the kind of life that I want to live, and I need to let what they're doing rub off on me. And let that be that. So I should have said, you did the best you could do. And she probably took it like, well, what you mean? She did the best she could do. Rather that yielded what we were trying to get, or it went all bust. I grew up in the crack era. We cooked crack. we would cook crack inside of a, microwave, on the stove, in a Pyrex jar. If you knew what you was doing, it would come back right. If you didn't, you might lose it. I say all that to say, you do the best that you can do. Your intentions isn't to lose anything. Your intention isn't to drop the ball. But sometimes you just don't know no better. And if you don't know to get around the right people so that you can pick up the right lessons, then you just don't know no better. I don't know why I do that. I think God has a specific calling on me to make a change in my family. I knew that the morning when I had a revelation come to me, and next thing I know, within 45 minutes of that revelation coming to me, I found out my grandmother had passed away. I mean, literally just passed away out of nowhere. My cousin said she had just woke up that morning, got up, made her bed, had her some coffee, tea, sat down in her favorite chair, turned some gospel music on. I had the revelation, got ready to call her to pick her up for lunch. She died. That's when I knew God had given me my revelation. He released her from her obligation. You're done, good and faithful servant. You've prayed all you could pray. You did all you could do. So I knew what I needed to do. And that's how I knew to seek other sources, because I wasn't going to get it from my mother and my father. I'm sorry, I wasn't. I look at them crazy right now. Not crazy like I don't love you, but crazy like, come on, y'all. We kind of need y'all to step up and handle this. Get past your problems. Because I got some problems over here I need assistance with, but I know what I was called to do. So I seek out the right people. And what I've learned is, when you get around the right environment, it's hard to do the wrong thing. I done linked up with this group of men called Black Men Runs. I'm running half marathons back to back. It's the environment. I done hooked up in the right real estate brokerage. I'm doing millions of dollars in sales a year. Making number 4 on the list in the company. I done hooked up in the right church, man. I got God just pouring down blessings on me. I mean, literally situations that it seemed like, who can save me from this? And Lord and behold, here comes relief. Here comes relief. So guess what? You can learn new behaviors. I think the hardest part about learning new behaviors is recognizing that there's a need for it. See, some of us ain't willing to look in the mirror and see that it's us who has the problem. It's too easy to pass the buck. Why? Because we do what's easy. That's why fast food restaurants are so popular. It's a fact that the food will kill you, but because it's so easy, it's so convenient, they prosper financially while you deteriorate physically. Because it's easy. And the only single solitary thing that actually got me to change was looking in the mirror. It really started, my grandmother dropped the seed. She says, not everybody not everybody can pick themselves up. I forgot how she posed it, but she said not everybody's gonna pick themselves up by the bootstraps like you, which was her way of saying, could you take it easy on everybody a little bit? And when I started having the idea about empathy, then I also started having the premonition and idea about self-correction. And just making a change in my overall and taking more responsibility. And when I look in the mirror, just shouldering some of the responsibility for why things are what they are. And when you shoulder the responsibility and start taking some responsibility for why things are, then you can actually start working on the main individual who is responsible for why things are, which is you. Because no matter what you do, I've never seen somebody change somebody else who did not want to be changed, or somebody else who did not want to look in the mirror. If you don't want to look in the mirror, why do you expect somebody else to look in the mirror at themselves? So it has to start with you. And when it starts with you, I guarantee you'll never look around again for anybody else to take responsibility for something you have control over. I say all that to simply say, you have an option. You have a choice. You're not the victim. And the people that you thought knew better, well, that's not always the case. And sometimes you have to just go outside of what you know and find a resource. Find a resource that is living the life you want to live, that is doing the things you want to do, that is prospering the way you want to prosper, and you got to just surround yourself with that. I've did it in multiple areas. I've did it in multiple facets of my life where I seen that I needed correction. And as I did that, I seen growth. I wanted to run, so I hooked up with a running group. Guess what? I run every day. I'm calculating, and I am being consistent, and I'm being I'm intentional about how I run and what I'm doing and my heart rate and the time I come in and how I finish and the intensity and my breathing. And there's so many other things that I've been able to dial in on as a result of just being in the right environment. Because what you think is just running turns into a whole way of doing things. And what you think is just learning becomes a whole way of doing things. And what you think, and that all has to do with who you're around and what you embody and how you take that in and how it starts to change your life.